There we go. It's actually coming up in the corner now. Let's start recording.
Yeah. And it's gone.
Well, hello everybody, and welcome back to part 21 of Suzerain.
Oh god, we're only at 21?
Yes. I know. The world has changed so much since the last time that we played this. The Queen is dead, and Condoleezza Rice now owns the Denver Broncos.
And you got your queen. And you got your queen.
I did, and I got married. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, punching above your weight class.
Don't we all? Don't we all?
Like way above your weight class.
Don't we all, though? Let's be honest. Don't we all?
And also, for the viewers and listeners, I'm not talking about his queen being large. I'm talking about her being
sure they understand.
way out of his class.
I'm sure they understand.
Yeah, but there's always some little bastard somewhere who kind of just gets hooked on one word. Like, oh, how could you say that? That's demeaning.
But yeah, it's good to recognise that I'm punching above my weight when it comes to Mrs. Pumphouse. That's what keeps me grounded.
Yeah, I should hope so, because I've seen a picture of her and wow.
Oh, you should have seen her in her wedding dress. She looked very nice. And I forgot to tell you that. Stop.
Oh, I needed that.
Yeah, I forgot to tell you that the wedding video, like all good wedding videos do, it didn't come out with some of the sounds. So we're having to have a sound engineer try and fix that.
How do you fix missing sound?
Well,
like that.
Obviously we weren't paying attention to where the video recorder was, but
no. I mean, if you're gonna take sound and put it in a video, surely you must know the surrounding sound.
Let me finish.
Oh, sorry.
So it was near the back of the ceremony hall where we got married, and although you can hear some voices at the front, it's the fact that you can hear a lot more going on outside the room than
traffic.
Yeah, traffic and stuff going on downstairs because we got married in a pub, right? So it was like yeah. So you could hear a lot of the stuff going on downstairs in the pub, but drunken brawls. It'll get fixed.
Drunken brawls and singing and.
That's right. Yeah. But anyway, we're here to play a game.
Yes. We're not here to talk theater production.
No. Let's have a look at the news. Okay, we've got those successful raids. Yeah, we got the Urinal Summit. Yeah, and then the Assembly voted against constitutional changes. Right. The only thing that's going on is around Hallsword by the looks of things.
Didn't we save that for this session?
I believe it's a big one, yeah.
Okay, let's see what it is then. Need report and briefing. Okay.
Shall we read the report?
Yeah, it's just a small little thing.
Okay, yeah. Supreme Court files Urson versus Swordland dissent. Supreme Court has filed a 6-5 dissent and closed the Urson versus Swordland case today. Chief Justice Hawker dismissed the concurrence of the Ministry of Justice, citing that the treatment of Bluedish people has been equal before the law. Further press releases were made criticising the words of the Vice Minister of Justice. Bluedish constitutional rights won't be a question for some time. Oh, I think we're going to get a bit of a thorn in our side with regards to the Bluedish. Oh dear. Well, I think the only way we can save this game, Terra, is if we come up with a sound diplomatic strategy.
I think we've tried to be sound diplomatic through the entire game, but it doesn't seem to work.
We've had our fun. We've had our fun, but we've also been,
Yeah, brutally fist fucked by every other person.
No, I think I mean, obviously our personal opinions come into it. Just a tad, just a little bit.
just a little bit, yeah. Just a small hint.
We're supposed to be playing the game rather than bringing our own politics into the matter. But hey, okay. So the doors of the White Room, like everything else in the Maroon Palace, in the Maroon Palace's main nerve center, were painted white. Okay. It took a deep breath. I took a deep breath before pushing them open. Time for yet another meeting. At least this time, it was with people who liked me. Okay. We've surrounded ourselves with sycophants, Terra.
Well, I'm not quite sure that Joseph Lancea, bald Hitler, is a sycophant.
Okay, the attendees rose up from their seats. Mr. President. Iosif nodded. He and Lucian sat down, while David remained standing.
Now that you are here, let's talk about our diplomatic strategy.
David cleared his throat.
Mr. President, if I may, I would like to provide you with a short overview of where we are right now.
Go ahead.
Although we did not make a trade deal with Valen, we succeeded in making one with Agnolia, which means we have increased our presence in the region. These deals were important pieces of leverage and significant first steps into the global arena. We must now look towards the future.
Okay. It's time to take the next steps.
Yeah, not just one, many steps.
Yeah, well, we need to get at least in the yellow, I think. I think yellow is where we're aiming for with regards to the economy. I don't think we'll ever get this back.
At least economy 2, not 1.
Yeah.
Precisely.
David sat down, pulled out a few papers and started going through them as he kept talking.
Wayland and Agnolia are practice runs. We must begin improving our relationship with the greater nations.
Yeah, okay.
We need to elevate our international standing, especially with the threat of Rumberg looming.
Iosif cleared his throat.
Mr. President, you know me, I don't trust the helping hands other countries offer us, for good reason. But I also know when those helping hands are necessary. And right now, we need all the help we can get.
Yeah.
Not gonna argue.
Yeah.
I've said this over and over, but I will repeat it until I get it through to your skull. Rumberg will come, sooner or later. And with the current state of our military, if Rumberg invasion happens, Swordland will simply cease to exist. We need allies. We ought to heed General Lancea's advice, Mr. President. I trust his head. He's not a fool. Yeah.
Yeah, I must say I do really appreciate his bluntness.
Yeah.
Until we get it through our head. Right.
Thank you, Mr. President.
A military perspective is important, but these deals are about more than just gaining allies. We also need to consider the benefits to our economy such deals will provide.
Especially when we are still struggling to end the recession.
David took a seat and brought out 2 stacks of documents. Okay, he's gonna right.
Let's see what this is. At the start of our term, I had a comprehensive trade plan laid out. Following the visits to Valen and Agnolia, we were to pursue potential trade deals with 2 greater nations. Valexland is one of them. If we can manage to get them to the table, there is much more potential here than in Valen or Ragnolia.
Which one is Valsland again?
Isn't that on the one on the
It's
other
just-
side
yeah,
of the straits?
Yeah, it's the USSR.
Yeah, Valslandian Navy.
Yeah.
Because they are one of the most important countries in CSP, a deal with Valsland is a ticket to bring Sworden closer to the United Continental Sphere.
Hang on a minute. Okay. I mean, yeah, Continental Security Pact. Yeah. So, I mean, it's only given us 3 options here. I mean, what about?
Well, what would the fourth option be then?
Well, the 4th option would be, we ain't communists. You know.
Yeah, and I think that would be number 3. We don't need help of other countries.
No, because there's 2 countries. So he's saying he's got 2 plans. This is one stack. This is one plan. So I'm thinking there should be a 4th option to say, okay, what's the 2nd option, rather than dealing with nasty commies.
Ah, yeah, okay.
You know,
that's fair.
So
I'm guessing number 1 is
I guess.
basically teetering on the line.
Yeah.
Because it's maybe yes or no, basically.
Although, I mean, maybe there might be a 3rd way, and we can deal with both of them and try and remain as neutral as we can. But yeah, number 1, I guess.
Yeah, because that feels like tiptoeing the line.
Yeah. A simple trade deal wouldn't cause issues unless we decide to go further.
Moving on to Lesbia.
And Lesbia is, yeah. I'll just cut, yeah.
Really shows it's been quite some time since we played this last, because we have no idea what the hell we're doing.
Just refreshing our mind. Just refreshing our mind.
It's okay to say you have no idea what you're doing. Our southern neighbor is one of the wealthiest countries in Eastern Mercopa. A trade deal with them would be very beneficial, not just for our economy, but also for our regional and international presence. Not to mention that they are in the Arcasian sphere.
I think 1 again, man. We want to be part of ATO.
Let's see here. A trade deal with Lesbia could open many doors.
It could. I mean,
us.
yeah. I mean, they got a slice of the pie. We want some of that slice.
So basically, number 1 is yes, number 2 is no, and number 3 is tiptoeing the line.
I think number 3 is the typical, you know, a trade deal. What would they get out of it? You know, what would we have to give? Our oil, type of deal.
Well, we already made one deal where we basically got fisted in the ass.
Yeah, exactly. I think maybe, especially with regards to, the rumblings of Rumburg, which seem to be quite authoritarian-ish, and maybe with a trade deal with Lesbia, they might say, we might be able to get you into ATO, and it's nice that you're modernizing your military.
Well, I do feel more secure about going yes for this one.
Yeah.
So I would probably say, yeah, option 1.
Okay. True, a country as influential as Lesbia could help elevate our economy.
That is it for the overview.
That's not much of an overview, let's be honest.
As to the actual contents of the trade deal...
Here, go on, hit us with it.
Lucian?
Potatoes for oil. Lucian pulled out his small notebook and quickly flipped through the pages until he landed on the right one. Looking at my stats here, we now have a small... selling tungsten. Okay, that's not bad.
Which makes an excellent resource for trade.
You can build tanks out of tungsten.
But let's not get ahead of ourselves. I need to know your decision before we can proceed. What should we do?
Before you say anything, remember what I said. We need allies. Not just a trade deal. If Romberg attacks, we will fall.
Well, considering that their army is overwhelming in any way.
Begin negotiations with them both.
Ah!
There we go. That's what we're looking for.
We have a winner.
Yes, we don't need to necessarily push one away. We can perhaps be in the middle.
Yes, let's go with that one.
But it could be a little bit of a dead end, because what if Lesbia gets offended that we are... I mean, we could do the whole play them off against one another, you know, and we could, because obviously, let's be cheeky. Let's try and apply some sense here.
Yeah, let's talk with both and see what happens.
Yeah, because what if Ato wants to expand, and maybe Lesbia might dangle a little carrot, and we can straddle both sides of the fence.
Hopefully, without cutting our balls.
Let's do them both. I'm going to do both. I know it's probably it's going to be one of those things that's going to screw us over, but I think we have to take the gamble.
Yeah, I mean, it paid off with the radios, right?
True.
And the football team, I believe.
Yeah.
Excellent news. I will begin at once. That was all I had for today. Thank you for coming.
Thank you, gentlemen. Isif saluted as we left the White Room. All right. I think, trying to play them off against one another, I think will be very interesting.
Before we... okay. Before we click anything, where was Valsland? Is on the other side?
Yeah, it's this one. This little
Yeah,
thing.
okay.
So, I mean, if they wanted to provide us support, then they'd have to ship men over.
And Lesbia was south.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Alright, news it is.
News. The Wholesale Post. You can read it.
Alright. Isolated polio cases seen in Berger.
Oh, no.
Several villages in Berger have been safely placed on a quarantine after a few polio cases were diagnosed in the region. The outbreak is largely confined to Wayland, and there is little chance of further infections occurring in Swordland. Even if there was, the disease's most notorious symptom, paralysis, is only seen in a minute percentage of cases, and there is no need to alter the Swordish way of life, as Health Minister Pascal Benewall has suggested with his vaccination program in order to prevent its spread. That's a good thing that we invested into healthcare.
I guess. Okay, the Lackhaven Times. Polio cases explode in Berger. Concerning news from Berger. Several cases of polio have recently been diagnosed in the region. The outbreak, thought to have originated across the border in Welland, is currently confined to just a few villages, which are now under strict quarantine. However, Health Minister Pascal Benewell has called for swift action, including countrywide vaccination, to prevent the case numbers from multiplying. We concur that this disease, which is known for paralysis in several severe cases, is a serious threat and must be contained at all costs. Geopolitico.
Rain will visit both Valsland and Lesbia for trade deal.
There we go.
President Rain has scheduled visits to both Lesbia and Valsland to discuss possible trade deals with the leaders of both countries. It is unclear what the goal of these trade talks will be, although some insiders speculate that Rain is hoping to gather allies in anticipation of an eventual confrontation with Rumburg. What is clear is that it will be hard to negotiate with both Valzan and Lesbia simultaneously without choosing sides between either Arcasia or United Contana.
That's what all good nations do. They try and get the best deal for their people and keep options open. Okay.
Is that really what they do?
Yeah, of course. I mean, like, I think I'm trying to think of a solid example here, but
See,
I mean,
nothing pops up.
No, I mean, no. Let's think about like let's think about the Eastern Bloc, right? I mean, places like Romania and maybe you could even argue that Poland at one point, in the early 90s, was saying, still kind of flirting with its old links to Russia. And, I mean, hell, even Germany, it's shot itself in the foot now with regards to the gas problem. But, it still has to maintain links to both East and West.
Yeah. And old Yugoslavia did that as well, right before they fell apart.
Very true. Very true.
And Czechoslovakia also, I believe.
Welcome to Yugoslavia, everybody.
And or Czechoslovakia, even,
yeah.
I think.
Yeah, although obviously Czechoslovakia doesn't exist anymore.
Well, neither does Yugoslavia, right?
Yeah, exactly, yeah. Okay, Loren.
Moving on.
Healthcare quality improved.
Oh, actually a good headline for once.
Yippee! Reports from hospitals and clinics in Loren indicate a significant rise in the quality of healthcare since additional funding was channeled into rural areas. Mortality rates appear to be decreasing, while patients are reporting a higher level of trust in physicians and medical facilities. Look at that.
One piece of good news, and I already feel better.
That's right. Okay.
Okay.
Let's
get shot. Yeah, let's get shot down again. Recession hits workers. And there we go. Bad news. As in the rest of Solon, workers in Guildsword are bearing the brunt of the recession. The manufacturing sector has been hit particularly hard, as a record number of factory workers filed for unemployment over the past month.
Whoops. Well, there's always the highway construction works. There's always the construction works.
Yeah, the highway which is still not done, I believe.
Yeah. Yeah, it's still getting there. Okay. We've got to read a report and cabinet meeting. So let's have a look. Currency loses value against the Arcasian lira. Oh dear.
Financial reports show that the Swedish ren has steadily been slipping against Arcasian lira. Though the exchange rate has not yet approached the all-time low reached during the Alfonso administration. Not yet.
Not yet.
Thank you.
There's still time. There's still time for us to be worse than Alfonso.
We can do it!
It's a race to the bottom.
Oh God.
Lucian stood upright, holding a large folder of files under his arm. He bowed in acknowledgement. He looked exhausted. The cabinet is gathered in the right room, sir. The Vice President will be opening the session soon. We can go in whenever you're ready.
Either 2 or 3, yeah.
Yeah, let's be concerned.
Well, he has been a rock to us.
He has. It's nothing, sir. I am ready and able as always. Oh, you're such a martyr for the cause, Lucian.
Uh-huh. Are you sure? You can be honest with me.
Yeah. I'm always honest with you, sir. I'll admit, the last year was tough. Oh, don't quit now, you bastard. Especially all that lobbying work. But it's nothing to break me down, sir. Trust me, I'm fine. He fixed his tie. Always curt and, yeah, he's the pinnacle of the public servant.
Real stoic little one.
He is. He is a stoicist. I'm
So
ready.
anything you want to say before we go in? Because he always has some little piece of insight somewhere.
He does. He's very Machiavellian like that. No, sir. Just keep your cool with the cabinet. I believe concerns will be raised in the meeting. Oh, dear.
Probably nothing but concerns.
All right. All right. Well, I mean, he's warned us. He's warned us. That's all he needs to say.
Yeah, but then again, I mean, have we ever had a meeting without concerns?
I suppose. Of course, sir. Let's go in. Lucian held the door for me, and we both left the office for the White Room. When we entered the room, Peter was speaking to the cabinet members who were already seated around the table. As soon as they noticed me, they all stood up.
Good day, everybody. Please have a seat. Yeah.
There we go. Peter turned towards me. Everybody except him took their seats. He stood right next to my chair in the middle.
And here's our president.
He held out my chair for me to sit down and smiled.
Please.
Ooh.
Why does it feel like he's gonna backstab us?
I think. Well, I think he might. Okay, I sat down.
Yeah, let's continue, have him continue talking.
No. We got to take charge of the meeting. We can't let the vice president.
Yeah, but also keep a cool head. Remember?
Yeah. So the president's here now. What's on the agenda? Boom, done.
I'm just curious when he said, "And here's our president."
Okay, well,
I'm just worried that he's sowing seeds of dissent.
perhaps. But I think we played enough. I think we played well enough with regards to the cabinet to keep some people on side. But we have to say too. Let's take charge. Let's.
All right.
Okay. Boom.
We'll be discussing our current status and planning the remainder of our term.
Peter walked to his seat, but didn't sit down. He took a look at all the other ministers.
Now that Mr. President is here, we can begin the meeting. I know that some of you had your concerns about our style of governance so far. This will be a time to speak up about these in the meeting today. But I must also thank you all for your hard work so far. We are very lucky to have a team like this. All of you have been invaluable to this administration. Having said that, now we have reached a critical point of our term. We are nearing the end. We have worked long and hard, but we couldn't reform the Swedish constitution. Our organization was flawed. Our party was not united. The very parliament we control has denied us the reforms. Lucian and I have begun investigating who let us down at the vote when we needed them the most. He's going fucking inquisitor on the asses.
He is.
Gloria and the conservative wing of the party didn't back us up. Some party centrists have opposed us due to our decision to veto the campaign finance bill.
He paused and looked around the room.
But the past is past. We must now look towards our future.
Do you think he's got his, just stopped drinking and had a sober moment, and he's actually going to be trying to take our position and he's going to be good at it?
As I said, I kind of started to get the backside feeling when he said, "And here's our president." Okay, what are you doing?
Yeah.
We are investigating and analyzing our faults. We will be taking measures accordingly.
He glanced at both Lucian and me.
Our party still remains divided. In order to look at the future, we may need to make some changes. On the other hand, the opposition is exploiting our failure to reform. The latest polls show a steep increase in the opposition's support. So, Let's start the meeting with a brief look at some reports.
He fumbled with the stack of papers in front of him.
With the latest developments, we have seen a decrease in our popularity. The public opinion has shrunk since we took office.
That happens with every party in power.
Mm-hmm.
He took out a piece of paper from the stack and inspected it.
A major concern of the people is the state of our economy. We are slowly slipping into a depression. This will have dire consequences for our administration. We mustn't lose hope and give it our best. Swordland needs us more than ever.
Peter turned to me.
I'll give the word to the president now.
He then sat down.
Yeah, well, yeah, okay.
Yeah, thank you for that delightful pep talk, Mr. Vice President. The
We
whole
are fucked
team
up,
needed it.
we are losing, nothing is working.
The whole team needed it. Everyone's eyes were focused on me.
Let's see, first one,
Boom.
brief about ministry. First,
Where are
I
we?
want to talk about our new focus and some of my plans forward. Well, we can't plan forward until we know where we are, so yeah, number one.
Boom.
Yeah, boom.
Peter gestured at Simon, and he immediately stood up. All right, bring it.
Yeah. I miss doing Simon. Mr. President, dear colleagues. Mr. Vice President was pretty on point with his summary of the current economic status. He also used the word depression. He couldn't have been more correct. Our GDP has shrank by 15% last year.
15%. A drop in GDP by 15%. That's worse than Biden. Oh God. Oh.
This downward trend has broken our economy over the last years. If we cannot contain this in time, we will end our term, in the truest sense of the word, in a depression. However, this has not yet reflected well with our debt situation. Our total national debt has increased about 85 billion Swedish ren this year. If we maintain such a deficit over the next years, we will face a massive debt crisis, which could crash the economy. The Assembly is working on introducing new tax bills, which will generate more revenue for the government.
Oh.
These efforts will depend on the government deficit situation.
You can't tax your way out of a fucking recession. God.
On the other hand, unemployment has seen no positive changes. There has been an increase in joblessness.
Oh.
It is now at 26%. We have lost control of the situation.
Oh shit.
26%. Wow.
1 in 4.
We caused millions of people to lose their jobs.
I tell you what, Terra.
Mm-hmm.
We have to roll back the rights of women. We have to send them back to the kitchen, and then then the men just take their jobs. Done.
So what? We remove women from the workplace and
That's
thereby
it.
lowering the unemployment numbers
That's right.
because they are not in the working area.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. Let's just do that.
No.
For the good of the country.
No.
He paused
For
for
the
a
good.
moment.
For the good of the people.
Uh,
This is terrible. Is there more to it?
yeah. All right.
Well,
Oh no.
I don't want to get into too much detail right now.
It's a cabinet meeting, you son of a bitch. Tell us.
Don't yell at me, Mr. President. But I have to say that the failure to open our first infrastructure project was costly. Fortunately, we expect to see it finished in the next months.
Oh, okay. Next month, so maybe by next quarter. Okay.
Well, he didn't specify any number of months,
He
so it
didn't.
could be
It could-
30,
well,
36 months,
It could, yeah,
48 months.
it could be, yeah, I suppose.
I'll keep it brief for the sake of the whole meeting, and end my report on that note.
Okay. So save the details from us, you son of a bitch.
Thank you, Simon. My throat thanks you. Yeah, your concerns have been heard.
I don't know, maybe that's slightly dismissive. I think maybe thank you. Or maybe good. Good! No.
No, it's not good. Yeah, okay, let's go, thank you.
Gus stood up. As soon as Simon sat down, he asked us for a private audience, which the cabinet respected. It was just the two of us in the room. Okay, this is our dude.
I can't remember.
I think we had him like Humphrey Bogart or something like that. I forget.
Humphrey Bogart?
I don't know. I can't remember.
I can't remember either, so let's go... let's just go standard. I will also keep it very brief, Mr. President. Our farmers are still suffering. Our ministry did its best by giving out subsidies to local farmers. But our agricultural production remains the same.
Oh dear.
We have only recorded some development in the Agnel region, but our farmers in Gilsland and Bergia are still suffering. Additionally, I bring good news regarding our investment.
This shifty nut son of a bitch.
FC Anrica has seen a boost of ticket sales after your endorsement and participation in the club. The management decided to send over a slice of that pie.
There we go.
The manager personally thank you for the support you have shown to the team. Several players have already decided to join the USP.
Interesting. Did we didn't pick up that vineyard, did we?
No, this is Football Club Anrica.
I know, but did we pick up the vineyard? I can't remember.
Neither do I, actually. The money should be arriving in your account shortly. That would be all from me.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
that was it.
Well, you know, I mean, okay. Gus invited the cabinet back in and sat down. Some were obviously opposed to such behaviour. And next up was Pascal.
So instead of us going to another room, he had everyone else walk out of the room?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Mr. President! There are currently no major problems within the Ministry of Health.
Are you bullshitting me? We had a polio outbreak.
Yeah, but he had vaccination program, remember?
Still,
we are currently investigating some reports of a small polio outbreak around a village called Hymir. I believe we can get into more details in our policy meeting. These reports keep getting shorter.
Yeah.
Is there anything else you?
No, I mean,
is there anything else you would like to say?
Yeah. Like, come on, man. Like a small polio. I mean, a polio outbreak is a polio outbreak, no matter how fucking small. Okay, ISIF stepped up. The Ministry of Defense has a very important report regarding the situation with Rumburg. The investigations showed that Rumburg was in fact weaponizing rebels against our state. We have learned that they have been aiding the Blutish rebels in Welland too. Our military must stand ready for any possible attack coming from Rumburg. We have gathered intelligence regarding their military research and production. They are building a massive army. Our military forces don't have the budget to prepare against such a force. You're the one who told us to reduce the force.
Yeah, by upgrading, but numbering it down.
We cannot let them threaten us like this.
I'm kind of going number 2. Don't escalate. Because escalating is basically, yeah, we see what you're doing. Come on, bring it.
Well, you have to meet strength with strength sometime, right?
Yeah, but remember that Rumburg still has an overwhelming military force no matter what we have done.
Yeah.
So even if we use whatever we have to its limit, it's not going to be close to enough.
Okay. Right. I'm thinking ahead again. And I am inclined to agree with you as to not antagonize the beast, right? Because let's say that ATO it is like our NATO, and they don't necessarily like saber rattling from.
Yeah, because if we
Oh,
use
yeah,
whatever we
okay.
have to its limit, that's basically that
Yeah.
we are taunting them to attack us.
A little bit, and they don't like border disputes and shit like that either.
Yeah, so I don't think we should escalate.
I think the fact if we want to kind of curt ATO on our sides, then we should maybe look like the one. We should maybe just look like the ones that are being threatened and trying to.
Yeah,
being
basically
bullied.
being the victim that we actually are.
We are. We're the victims of our own policies, and
we don't have to put that in report. Just victim. That's good enough.
Help us, Ato. Help us. Okay, I don't think. Yeah. Okay. I don't know. I don't think he'll like that either. He's saying that we need to meet strength with strength.
We have already met him on upgrading the equipment, but having more specialized forces. We went his choice on that one.
And we stepped up patrols as well. But the thing is, we stepped up patrols and then they didn't attack us.
Yeah, but using whatever we have at its limit. What is that? Putting like artillery pieces and flying drones over the border. That is definitely gonna. Okay, so you do want to fight? Okay, here we go. So no, I'm still going with number 2.
All right, I'll do that too then. Of
because
course,
because it basically shows the rest of the world that we're not
the aggressor.
We're not falling for their tauntings. Because if they want to roll over us, they're going to do that either way.
Okay, David stood up.
Mr. President, Perla and Starport have agreed to begin deal negotiations. We will be moving on with that very soon. Our relations with Agnolia have greatly improved. Our ministries have scheduled many joint projects together. The region is very unstable. With the incidents at Rumburg, Wayland, and Helgeland, we must be very cautious. We can talk in more detail at our foreign policy meeting. Alright, thank you, Mr. Wisi.
Cairo's next.
Our ministry is working day and night to improve our education system and increasing its accessibility. We have since greatly improved our rural education, building new schools, and bringing new equipment and books. We have accomplished a lot with our new curriculum. Our reforms will be greatly improving our output as a society.
Okay, so maybe we won't benefit in this parliament, but maybe the next 2 might.
Maybe.
Lilius suddenly stood up.
Lilius Graf.
Yeah.
Mr. President, we have important equipment missing from several of our major police departments.
Oh my God, it's those bluish.
We might need to implement some new measures soon. We will provide you with a more detailed report at a later date.
Oh, I'm looking at a -5 budget on this one, Terra. I'm looking for a -5 budget.
And also important equipment.
Yes.
Not just equipment, but important. Okay. One last thing. I would like to transfer the gendarmerie under the Ministry of Interior to improve the internal security efforts. Law enforcement organization.
She wants armed police on the streets.
The Gendarmerie General Command is subordinate to the Ministry of Defense.
Yeah,
okay,
she wants martial law. She wants
Interior.
martial law.
But isn't martial law something that can only be called by the president?
I forget the semantics of it, but I mean, yeah, if you've got armed guards on the street, I mean, it's quickly becoming the signs of becoming a police state. You know.
Let's see, I haven't heard of this before. I don't see Joseph accepting this. If you need more help, I can surely arrange a transfer. Well, we haven't heard about important equipment missing. That's a new one.
But we know that there was some, protests from Bluish people and what have you, right?
Yeah, but also didn't we put like mixed heritage security in?
We did.
Certain areas.
We did. You're right.
So I'm thinking it might more be along the lines of like Romberg undercover agents than Bluish.
That's a possibility.
Or maybe I'm just reading it too much.
No.
Reading too much into it.
No, it could be a possibility.
But yeah, as you said, putting armed security forces under the Ministry of Interior. Let's go with number one first to see what she has to say, because we
have heard of the protests and shit. So
yeah, but important equipment missing from several of our major police departments. That's something we haven't heard before, I think. I'm still working on the proposal and have legal backing for it. I was going to mention it later. The Ministry of Defense shouldn't be meddling with internal security affairs through the gendarmerie. We have several incidents where they were too violent, too quickly, and it stems from military officers giving reckless orders at times. Okay, that kind of makes sense. So her argument is basically if we put it under the Ministry of Interior, it's gonna be not as rash and brutal as if it is under
perhaps
security defense.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm going to say, I mean, I'm conflicted with myself here, but I mean, if things get too out of control,
yeah, I'm leaning towards number two myself. If the security situation gets more problematic, then it might be necessary. We're not saying here you go, and we're not saying stop. We're basically saying we're gonna think about it depending on the developing situation.
Okay, we'll go with two.
It will eventually cause a problem between our forces. There are already miscommunications going on. Will you transfer the gendarmerie to the Interior in the future?
I can't make that promises, but.
Let's see. I will support you in the Gendarmerie Authority transfer. Now it's your turn. I can't make that promise. Joseph would be furious.
I wish there was a third option to say, I'll think about it.
Yeah.
But I guess number two would be, I can't make that promise. That's as much as I can go.
It is basically either yes, I will, or no, I won't.
Well, I'm sure she'll give us the option in the future. But I mean, maybe if there's miscommunication problems, then maybe it should be transferred to the authority.
Yeah, there are already miscommunications going on. But, and also, as you said before, under the Ministry of Defense, they were too rash, too hard, too violent.
But at the same time, if there is a potential of sabotage and enemy agents going around the place, then it kind of does become a military matter if you get into a war-like situation, right?
To an extent, I guess, but I mean, Ministry of Interior should also be able to handle espionage, right? Like counter-espionage and
They should.
finding moles.
They should. That is correct.
I'm actually leaning more and more towards number 1.
Okay, so if it goes to her, then okay, you get rid of the miscommunication problem.
And they won't be as rash and brutal, and hopefully less less demonstrations. And
Here's the
like
thing, though: in order to equip them, then they will have to have a budget increase for the Ministry of Interior.
Well, considering that most police stations are missing very important equipment, it probably have to be from the military, I guess. Which is probably gonna make Joseph even more angry with us.
I think 2's safer. We can't make any promises. We just have to think about it. And when she actually gives us a plan to work from, then because if we say yes, we're just writing her a blank check, and then she'll go and say, "Oh, you promised me that security force. Well, it just so turns out that we need the budget to do it and get them on the equipment and this, that, and the other, and I know we're facing an invasion and you need some militia.
Yeah, that is true.
It's this type of thing, man. I think 2 is certainly the better way to do it.
I'm gonna let my die decide for me. So odds is number 1, even it's number 2. 4. So
2.
Option number 2.
That is unfortunate.
That is unfortunate.
Lydia smiled faintly.
Do you have anything to share? Yeah, exactly.
Miss Morgner. Yes, the justice person. Nia shook her head.
Oh.
Not at this moment, Mr. President. You're already well aware of what's going on. I will update you on our next steps in the judiciary in another meeting. Okay. Wow. All these meetings to come, but no one wants to share it at the cabinet.
Yeah, I don't get it.
Weird. Nia took her seat. Next, I want to talk about our new focus and some of my plans going forward. What do we want to talk about?
Okay, so it's time to focus on changing our party as a whole. I'll add a new vision in our manifesto. The public opinion is concerning. We must focus on campaigning for the next election already. The state of our economy is very concerning, yes. It must be our focus to achieve quick economic development.
3. Let's go for 3. Because the unpopularity. I mean, people can understand maybe not changing the constitution. People can maybe understand a few other things that we've done, but the economy. They never forgive you on the economy.
Yeah, I'm actually on the same page here, because if we manage to at least stabilize the economy, maybe even improving it, that will change the public opinion.
Yeah.
And hopefully it will also get more of the party traitors over to our side.
Party traitors?
Yeah,
Goodness.
The ones that didn't support us during the voting.
Yeah.
They will probably go like, oh shit, they actually managed to fix it. Okay, maybe we actually should play on their team.
So we're in agreement. 3?
Yes.
Alright. Simon nodded in agreement. Sordland needs to become an economic powerhouse. Oh!
We can't get elected if we don't improve the economy. That is true.
Yeah.
We should focus on eliminating poverty and homelessness.
Just 2. Let's not promise the earth here.
Yeah, we're not going to become. Yeah, because we're not going to become an economic powerhouse for some time with a -3 budget and 1 economy. And eliminating poverty and homelessness is going to cost us a lot more.
Exactly.
And right now we can't afford it.
No.
So if we get elected and get a second term, we might actually be able to pull off at least some of the things that we.
If we just
later.
get yeah, I mean, let's just go 2. Almost everyone seemed to be in agreement with me. There we go. If there are no comments, let's move on with the meeting. I believe that's everything, apparently. Everybody packed up and left the White Room. I went back to my office. The last 2.5 years had gone by so fast. It's almost like we're playing this in real time, Terra.
Yeah, we got our wealth.
Oh, I thought that was economy increase.
No, it was a football club payoff.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
Okay, so no news at least.
I think we should transfer some of our personal wealth to the budget. I think we should just make it our own personal fiefdom, and it will be fine. We can make ourselves king. We can make ourselves king, Terra.
I actually can agree with that, because that would be one idea to help stabilize the budget.
Yeah. Escorts. Okay. Gang violence diminished.
Yay! That's a good news.
Everyone's poor, so they don't. Everyone's poor and hungry, so they haven't got the energy to rob one another.
They're so poor they can't even find rocks to throw.
Yeah.
The police chief of Estor reported that the local police force have finally eliminated one of the biggest money-making schemes of the Coronelli.
Oh.
According to the report, over the last month, 40 mob members have been arrested, along with 3 high-ranking members of the Coronelli.
Proceeds of Crime Act. Take their personal wealth and put it in the government budget.
Yeah.
Boom. Sorted. Azarin. Let's have a look. Now, where was this polio outbreak? Was it? I thought it was near here, maybe, was it? I can't remember. I thought maybe it began with a H, but never mind. Okay. Protests. Thousands of Bludish people have gathered in protest and called for the resignation of Governor Bron and President Rain. Governor Bron reported that certain groups within the protesting crowd vandalized shops and public property, and the regional police force intervened. According to the report, the police... What? According to the report of the police, okay, the group dispersed, but hundreds were wounded. Ooh. The police were also said to have found 11 illegal Rombergian-made pistols in the crowd.
Imagine that.
Surprise, surprise. Okay. Burin.
Not really.
Inflation is still bad. There have been reports of a lack of daily supplies in the city of Burin. Oh dear. Citizens in the city are dying of hunger or are lacking necessary supplies. The mayor of Burin reported that people are buying and hoarding goods before the Swordish Wren loses any more value. Unfortunately, their action had only made the situation worse. Yep. What have we done, Terra? What have we done?
This is like a modern day 6 wins.
They're going to hang us with... They're going to hang us with the personal wealth of 2.
Fortunately, we have some personal wealth, so we can always make a run for it.
Let's... we'll be caught. We'll be caught before we do that. Okay, hold sword. Office of the President of Swordland in the Maroon Palace. A national speech. Lucian and I walked to my office in the Maroon Palace to make my address to the nation speech. This is going to be grim. It was an unusually crowded day. Cameras, lights and microphones were set in place and the crew standing by, ready to start filming. Are you ready, sir? Let's do it. Confidence. Boom. Good. I think the crew is ready. As soon as you take your seat, we will go live. I took my seat and rearranged my notes on the desk as a crew member powdered my face with a cotton puff. After everybody was ready, the director gave the sign to start filming. I looked directly into the camera and I said, I am not a crook,
I said, hello.
Yeah.
Okay.
My fellow citizens. Boom.
No, fellow stores.
No, because
that kind of.
because then if you're blue dish, then it's like, oh well, it's not talking to us then.
Yeah, but swords, isn't that swordland in general?
Yeah, but I mean, those who do not see themselves as swords, you can just say citizens.
Yeah, okay.
You know, it's a neutral term. It covers everybody. I think it's safer.
Yeah, I guess the American president always goes, my fellow Americans.
He
so,
does.
Yeah.
He does. He does. But yeah, bollocks to it. I soared to the election on the winds of change. Change that was desperately sought and called for by you, the people of Swordland. Okay, I'd like to speak about the events of the past months, about a great historic effort to give the words freedom, fairness, and hope new meaning and power. I think maybe one
Yeah.
is I don't like one. I mean, you asked for change. It's like, well, okay, we asked for change, but you haven't been able to do anything. We haven't done any changes. We haven't been able to do the Constitution. Okay, we've done a little bit of health, maybe some other things too. But I mean, farmers are still struggling.
People
Recession.
are dying from hunger.
People are now dying from hunger. I don't know. I wish there was a third option to say we haven't done too good, but we can do better. Please don't hang us. Please don't hang us, please.
Yeah, I guess number 2 sounds better because about a great historic effort to
Yes.
give the words
Yes.
freedom, but people were working.
Some of
against
you
us.
will die, but that is the risk I'm willing to take.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think number 2
Yeah.
falls a bit closer to the truth. There was an effort, but
Yeah.
unfortunately, it didn't pan out. From the moment I was sworn in, I have done nothing but fight to achieve the change you demanded. That is true.
Yeah.
I took office with a plan to dismantle Solomon's ancient government structure and replace it with one that met the needs of the modern country we are today. Also kinda true. I began my term with one goal: to transform Solomonn into a modern democracy. They are all kinda true.
Yeah.
We have been fighting. God knows we've been fighting.
Yeah, I mean, you demanded it.
I mean, the budget and the economy kind of shows how much we've been fighting for the betterment of the citizenry.
Well, I mean, yeah, you can fight all you want, but if you're fighting the wrong way, it's useless.
Yeah, but then again, also remember broken party, right?
Yeah.
That's the biggest issue we've had so far.
I do like the language more in number 1.
Yeah, so do I.
I mean, number 2, that's just going to piss off the Conservatives even more. We won't get the Conservatives back if we go for number 2.
Well, I don't think we've had them during any.
I don't know. I think we had it to begin with, and then we did something along the line, and she just switched.
Yeah, because I mean, we have like half our party working against us. We're trying to work against the Supreme Courts.
Yeah. Number 1. Let's go for number 1.
Yeah.
Well,
However, due to circumstances beyond my control, my plans were thwarted. Alas, my vision was too grand for the narrow scope of our current assembly. So basically, one is
it's not my fault. Well, number 1 is it's not my fault, and number 2 is every bugger else's fault.
Yeah. So one is I did my best. It didn't work out. Number 2, it was because of them.
We can humble ourselves. We can, if you humble yourself, then
people will start to feel sorry for you.
Yeah, new government policy is to grovel.
It might work. I'm not beyond groveling right now.
I actually kind of like the wording as well.
I don't like the wording of either of them. But I guess one is just the best. I mean, you know.
Yeah, I think so too.
Maybe.
If assembly members had their way, Tarkansal's constitution would last until the end of time. The assembly could not conceive of a Swordland in which minority voices were represented and amplified.
I don't like either of them either.
I think number 2 would be a little bit more to the people.
Maybe.
Because it kind of helps accentuate that we see and try and help with minorities.
I'll agree. I'll agree in principle on that one. Oh.
And so they spitefully acted against me, putting their own pettiness before the needs of this country. They stubbornly clung to Solan's past, knowing it would cost us the country's future. And so they struck down my reforms with the help of Saul himself.
Let's not make an enemy of the previous president. That's not very presidential. I mean, I guess, you know, stubbornly clinging to the past is about as neutral as you can get it.
Yeah, and also we still have the Supreme Court still solists.
Yeah.
So I would probably say number 2. But I will tell you this: I'm not done fighting for you. People of Solan Anton Rain will not let himself. No, we're not talking about ourselves in third person. They may have defeated me, but they will never defeat the Swordish spirit. 1 or 3.
I mean, 3 is like, okay, they've defeated me, but they will never defeat the Swordish spirit. I mean, that's almost.
I'm kind of leaning for number 1, to be honest. Because we have been fighting for the people.
We have, but you have to admit that you've been defeated. You know, we have lost. You know, you have to say, yeah, I've lost, but.
Well, we don't know. Well, only thing we've lost so far is the vote, which of course was a big loss.
Yeah.
But we are still in office, meaning we can still fight.
Yeah. But I mean, at the same time, you need something to rally behind. You know, Swordish spirit is a good one, because if we need Swordish spirit to fight the Rumburgians.
Yeah, but then again, the Swordish spirit is kind of different depending on who you ask.
I guess.
Because if you ask the old guard, it's like, oh, it's Tarkin Soul. If you ask some of the new ones, yeah, the President Rain, I believe in him. And you have someone else, it's like,
I guess.
Oh no.
Alright, okay, we'll go for number 1. Well.
Yeah, because it still kind of shows that you are with the people, even if you are president.
Historians shall look upon this but a minor hurdle in Swordland's path to greatness. It's time to put this setback behind us and focus on the challenges ahead. I've not given up on my commitment to equality and justice. I mean, Swordland's path to greatness, sure.
Yeah, but that kind of sounds a little bit too tyrannical, almost in a way.
That's not tyrannical. I mean, everyone wants
not
to balance
tyrannical,
nationalistic.
Yeah, thank you. That's the one I was about to say.
There's nothing wrong with that. I mean, two then. Challenges ahead. I think 1 would definitely try and boost things. You know, we're on a path to greatness here. You know, we were great 600 years ago. We can be great again.
I'm kind of torn between number 2 and 3.
Same. No, if 3 is wishy-washy.
Because I mean, number 3 kind of connects with our last statement. But I will tell you this: I'm not done fighting for you. I have not given up on my commitment to equality and justice.
Yeah, but I mean, we're focused on the economy now. Like, so I think if you just said there's going to be challenges ahead, I don't know. Yeah, I mean, it's time for us. Us to put the setback behind. But yeah, what's done is done. We can't change it in the past, but we've got to look forward because there's going to be challenges. That's it. Yeah, there's going to be challenges for all of us. So if you say that rather than say, "Oh, equality and justice," well, what does equality and justice mean? Everyone has their own separate forms of justice, and what equality means, and equity, and this, that, and the other.
Yeah, but
I think number 2, maybe number 1 is ever so slightly nationalistic. I don't think it's too bad.
Yeah, but certain parts of equality and justice are written down in books of law.
There is, but the thing is, let's be honest. We don't necessarily agree with the Constitution as it's written, and it's still law, and it's still technically justice in quotes, because that's the law. I mean, I guess laws can be unjust, but
yeah. But then again, the setbacks we've had was trying to change the Constitution, and since that didn't pan out, the challenges ahead are still going to be the same. Because nothing has changed. We still have the same obstacles in having the Supreme Courts against us.
The world changes. The world changes. The problems never stay the same for long.
No, that is true, but they might stay the same problem longer than our character will be alive.
Yeah.
And equality and justice.
But we know what challenges are. We're trying to avoid a depression. We're trying to avoid an invasion from Rumberg. We're trying to, get some trade deals and boost the economy.
The invasion is probably nothing we can do about.
And hell, you can even put equality as a challenge in there as well. I think 2 is far more than the third way politics neutral ground to go.
Well, the thing is that you have control of the clicker.
I know I have control of the clicker, but I'm trying to twist your arm and say, join with me in clicking 2.
Well, I am torn between 2 and 3. So I guess I'll let the dice decide again.
I don't like 3. I think 3 sucks.
So 2 is odds and 3 is... 2 is evens and 3 is odd. 6. So 2.
Right, boom. The dice, gotta love that dice. Gotta love that. You keep that dice. You keep it safe.
It failed me. Okay, so the future is in our hands. The future lies in the democratic movement
of the West. Men of the West. Come on. Yes.
I mean, they both have the same power and the message they're trying to deliver.
Yeah.
But it is the way it might be interpreted, because in our hands, as in Swordish people, citizens, that the future lies in the democratic movement of the West. That might actually rub
it'll piss off
the wrong way.
Valklands will be pissed off, and then we'll just have.
Because number 2 is probably going to rub a lot of people the wrong way.
Probably.
Even more than we have now.
Yeah.
So I think number 1, because the future of our is in our hands. The future of our country is in the people. Yeah. Our people.
Well.
Ow! Oh, I hit my elbow. With or without assembly support, there is no end to what we can achieve. And with the forces of law and order on our side, there is no end to what we can achieve.
Oh.
Well, we don't have the forces of law and order because the Supreme Court is working against us.
No,
And we don't have the assembly support, so yeah.
yeah, it's strange that we don't have a third option.
We're gonna do our best.
Perseverance. With or without the assembly support, there's no end to what you know.
Yeah, because I mean,
Wow.
if we get the assembly on our side, it's going to be a lot easier to do the changes to the Supreme Court.
I took a deep breath and Lucian shooed a fly away from his forehead. Oh dear.
No, from my forehead.
Oh.
We'll start focusing on the economy. With reform now off the table, I shall keep following through on my promise to improve Solon's education system. We already had reports that is going well. We will start focusing on eliminating internal and external threats.
One.
Yeah.
Well.
Definitely economy. Thank you for standing by me, your president, both in good times and bad. I'd like to thank my wife and children for standing by me. I'd like to thank my vice president. I'd like to thank my chief strategist. I would probably say number one.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, not Amorgna Westcore, because that is the old.
Yes. So yeah, we're still connecting with the old. We're still, yeah. That's the Swordish pie. You know. Yeah, you can't. You can still keep old slogans and.
Yeah, but it is what the slogan represents. So, God bless America. Wow, God bless America. Yeah, thank you. I'm having a stroke. God bless Swordland. That is all. Thank you. I salute you with all respect. They all sound really cheesy.
We've said number one before. We can say it again.
Sure, click away.
Boom. The director gave the cut signal and the cameraman stopped filming. My speech was finished.
Okay, so...
Oh! We continue.
Okay.
On to the next chapter.
I was about to say, in the next act?
And then, yeah, next act. And yes, this video's been just over an hour. So, join us next time as we see if we are hanged by the angry...
Hanged, drawn, and quartered.
That's right.
Send our balls to Rumburg.
Yeah. Well, see you on the next one.